Hello, my wonderful, beautiful friends. Welcome back to r/EntitledPeople, guys, where you come to get your daily dose of Karens. Guys, I hope you're having a great day today, and you know how we do it. You're about to hear some more incredibly entitled stories, so get ready to shake your heads. I do hope you enjoy the stories today, and remember to hit that subscribe button for future stories. Let's dive in. So, let me start off by saying that I'm a 36-year-old woman, and it's very obvious that I'm pregnant. I'm huge, I'm massive, I'm uncomfortable, I'm tired, and I'm grumpy. I'm currently at my local chain coffee shop, sitting down with my cup of coffee that had to be remade, because some random grandmother decided that as I'm pregnant, I shouldn't be allowed to have any caffeine. So this is the full story. I had just ordered a coffee, just a grande cold brew, nothing crazy, and I'm standing at the end of the counter waiting. The barista calls my name and my drink order, and I go to take it. So out of nowhere, a grandma comes in and says, "You can't have that." Now, I didn't know she was talking to me, so I continued to reach for my cup of coffee. She then marches up to me and says, "Hey, you can't have that. You are pregnant." I tell her, "Hey, it's only one cup, it's fine." She then says, No, you can't. You can't have that. You're not allowed. Doctors recommend against caffeine." She then takes the cup from my hand. I tell her, "You can't be serious, it's fine. My doctor even says it's fine." I then look at the barista who is just standing there mouth agape. She knows there's no way the woman's gonna give me back my coffee, so she lets me know that she'll make me another one. I then tell the lady to please leave me alone. I'm tired, I want my coffee, and I get one cup a day, and this is it. And to please go away. So at this point, the grandma's screaming. She says, "Listen to me, I will not allow you to do this. Caffeine can induce pregnancy. I won't let my daughter do it either. I'm trying to save you as well." So right now, I'm looking around for help because I'm not good at confrontation and she's making me panic. I tell her to please stop. I'm looking at the barista, pleading for help with every thought. The barista tells her to mind her business and hands me my cup directly, and this insane woman reaches out to take it from me again. So I yelled for her to stop trying to come near me. I literally shouted, "Please leave me alone. You're making me really uncomfortable and I don't want you this close." The woman, realizing that everybody was staring at her, suddenly stopped and went, "Ugh, fine, don't take my advice." And she left. The barista gave me a drink coupon and apologized for the stress, but oh my goodness, how can someone think that's okay? Listen, the easiest way to have escaped that would have been to say, "Ma'am, I'm drinking decaf." But seriously, that grandma did overstep her boundaries by a lot. Like, yeah, she meant well, but you don't go acting crazy to a complete stranger. She's so lucky that OP didn't judo chop her for stealing her coffee, because to some, a cup of coffee early in the morning is the most precious thing ever. Everybody knows the cost of plywood is sky high right now, at around $70 to $80 per sheet. Now, I'm getting some roofing done, and the roofers just finished moving all the old shingles and installed underlayment. They've all left for the day, and are coming back tomorrow to install the shingles after the inspector checks the underlayment and one required row of installed shingles. I'm sitting on my couch when I hear my doorbell ring, and someone pounding on my door continually, like it's an emergency. I answer it thinking it's going to be the inspector or an emergency, but instead, it's two ladies in their 60s and an old Cadillac, parked behind my car in the driveway. The ladies then asked if they could have the 11 sheets of 3/4-inch plywood stacked behind the tree, saying that it's not much they were asking for. Now, I tell them I can't just give away almost $1,000 of plywood that I need, and explain that the roofers haven't finished the roof yet, and what they haven't used, they will be taking back. They look surprised that I'm having roof work done, even though they're literally standing right next to a 20-feet dumpster by my door, filled with old torn shingles. I mean, they had to walk around the dumpster to bang on my door. Then, one of the women says, "Listen, you can give us 2 sheets. We know you're not using all of it. We just want to build a porch." Now, the audacity did put me on my heels for a moment, but I was kind to them because they claimed they lived a block away and just moved in 2 months ago. Again, I politely said that they can't have any of my plywood, but Home Depot has plenty for sale. They then said, "Home Depot wants $80 a sheet though. We don't want to pay that." To which I replied, "I know, that's how much the roofing company charged me per sheet." Now that seemed to shut them up and they started to walk back to their car. I also have a fake cat figurine near my front door, and it's quite lifelike at a distance. One of the ladies looked around and asked, "Hey, How much for the cat figurine? Now at this point, I'm starting to get pretty upset with her pushy behavior and treating my property like a flea market. I tell her, I'm sorry, it's not for sale. Have a nice day. I then close the door. Now, I thought that was the end of the bizarre encounter. But later that night, as I'm leaving to go to the convenience store, I see a sticky note on the window of my car in the driveway that reads, "We want to buy your car," with a phone number. The ladies must have come back at night when I was at the store. So my fake cat now lives next to the back door. I moved all the lumber into the backyard and will be setting up security cameras. The entitlement is so strong with these ladies. Yeah, let's just knock on a random neighbor's door and ask for 11 sheets of plywood. For free. What in the world, guys? Good thing OP moved that cat figurine to the back, because some people can't take no for an answer. I used to do part-time volunteer work for a local park. It was pretty basic stuff, like picking up trash and light security, which was just making sure that people aren't damaging the park property or to report anything shady going on. Now this park was fairly big, and had a jungle gym in the back of it behind the wall of trees. One day, I noticed that there's tire marks on the grass, right where a turn out of the back is. Now, it's fairly easy to make that turn, and it doesn't come out of nowhere, so I don't know why someone would go through the grass. Also, keep in mind that it was very muddy and cold, so the tire marks were pretty much cemented in after the grass was run over. I call my supervisor and they say that we'll fix the area when it gets a little warmer out, which was gonna be later that week. A couple days later, I'm near the front of the park patrolling. I notice a minivan coming up from the back of the park. It goes right through the same area of grass that was previously run over. I couldn't believe I just witnessed it. Now the turn does not come out of nowhere, and you can clearly see that going straight out will take you through the grass. I start jogging towards the van, waving my arms to get the driver's attention. She stops and rolls down her window, wearing thick sunglasses, and looked at me confused at first. She also had 2 kids in the back. We'll call her Karen. She says, "What?" I told her, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'm one of the park workers. You drove straight through the grass. With how muddy it is, the grass gets damaged very easily." Now Karen, giving me a look like I'm wasting her time, said, "Okay." I told her, "Well, we're gonna have to get new grass put down. I understand if it was a mistake, but please be more careful when coming out from the back." The Karen then says, "Okay." She says that rudely and drives out towards the entrance after I say thanks and back away from the van. So fast forward a couple of days. Me and my supervisor had finished flattening out the dirt and putting down new grass seed for that area. I was pretty happy with how it turned out, and the grass would look even better than it did before. So later that day, when I come back to patrol the park, I noticed the same minivan in the back of the parking lot. I head over to the jungle gym area, and of course, I see the entitled mom on a bench looking at her phone while her kids are playing. I was hoping in the back of my mind that she would have listened to me yesterday, but judging from how she acted, I was doubtful. I did a couple of walks around the back area, making sure there wasn't any trash. And when I saw her tell the kids it was time to go, I sprinted towards the front of the park entrance. Once her van starts coming up, I'm watching in disbelief as she once again doesn't turn and goes right through the same area again that we had just fixed up this morning. I was pretty pissed now. I walk up to her van, and when I approach, she rolled down her window, giving me a pissed look that I stopped her again. She says, "Oh my god, what do you want?" I told her, "Miss, you ran over that area again. We just finished fixing it this morning, and you just ran it over." Karen says, "So what? It's just some grass. You're acting like it's the end of the world." I told her, "You can clearly see that the grass is in front of you when you drive up from the back. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and we've never had anybody run over that area. Only you." She then gives me one more nasty look before rolling up her window, giving me the finger and driving away. She didn't even respond to my last point. Also, she almost ran over my foot since she didn't wait for me to back away from her van before driving off, and that was my tipping point. So I call my supervisor again and tell him what happened. I could tell he was pretty pissed over the phone, but he said he had a plan to stop that area from getting run over. I meet him that Friday morning, and he has this giant boulder in the back of his pickup truck. I instantly knew what we were going to be doing with it. After some work getting it down, digging up the dirt, and wedging it into place, we finished putting the boulder in. And now I had to admit that it made me kinda sad that there was now this eyesore of a rock there, and all of our work that was previously done was for nothing. But I was happy that the entitled mom would not be running over that spot anymore. So later that day, I'm in the back picking up trash when I hear the same minivan pull into the parking lot. Now, I know it's the entitled mom and her kids, because I remember their license plate this time. I pay no mind to them because I know she can't run over the grass again when they leave. Later on, I was cleaning some bird poop off a statue when I hear a loud crash. I run to where it came from, and I was shocked to see that the entitled woman's van had a giant boulder wedged between her tire and the bumper of her car. She gets out of the van in shock at what happened, swearing and shouting. I personally didn't want to do damage to her car, I just wanted to make her realize that she couldn't drive through the grass anymore. So I did feel some guilt seeing the boulder wedged in her car. I come over to the other side to see that the wheel was off the ground, and the front bumper was wedged atop the boulder. I don't even know how she managed that, honestly. She sees me and immediately gets a look of pure concentrated anger. She says, You put that rock there. I tell her, Miss, my supervisor brought the boulder in this morning for that spot because we didn't want anybody running over the grass anymore. I don't even know how you hit it since, again, if you follow the paved road with your car, there should be no reason you'd even hit this. Karen then screams, You are gonna pay for this damage. You purposely put this rock here so I'd hit it. So other cars would hit it. You just want to destroy people's vehicles. I should get you arrested. A few minutes later, she tells me she called the police and that I'm going to be arrested for intentionally damaging her property. I called my supervisor again. He got there before the police did, and I saw him laughing as he pulled up and saw the situation. He walks up to the entitled woman and explains who he is, and she starts yelling at him about how she's going to sue and have him and myself arrested for the damage. A few minutes later, the police pull up. She tells them that we intentionally put the rock there to damage her car, but we explained to the officers that she had driven through that grass several times, even after we had it fixed, and then we put the boulder down to keep her and others from driving through the grass. The police got some more information from us and told the entitled mom that we were in the right to put the boulder down and aren't liable for her poor driving. There should be no reason her vehicle should even be going onto the grass if she followed the road. The woman is pissed at this point and tells her kids to go back in the car and actually starts to back off the boulder. My supervisor, the officers, and I all watch as the boulder is scraping the bottom of her car as she backs out. The officers then stop her and tell her that her car is not safe to drive on the road as her bumper is half falling off and she needs to get it towed. My supervisor and I went home shortly after, smiling and laughing at what happened that day. I can safely assume now that she won't be going over that grass anymore. Guys, I love this story so much. How the heck did she not see a frickin' boulder and continue to run it over? I'd say she deserved it at that point because she was told not to run over that spot 2 times. Now, this happened during my neighborhood's fireworks display. Once a year, the neighborhood families get together and have a huge fireworks night in the summer. A lot of money is spent on it, and it's not exactly a small show. We all look forward to it every year, and everybody that goes will contribute some money or bring some fireworks. Every year, my brother's the one responsible for the event. He brings everything down to the park, gets everything set up, and then he runs the show. Now, he doesn't live with my parents anymore, but he still comes back every year to run it because he loves it. As soon as it gets dark, all the families start to arrive and set up their lawn chairs. I noticed that this one woman and her kids had arrived. Now, I had never seen this woman before, and no one invited them. I was just hoping that there wouldn't be any trouble, but apparently, I'm just not that lucky. As soon as the fireworks start, her youngest boy starts to freak the heck out. The screams of this child were constant and almost as loud as the fireworks. Now, the kid's young, so I'm not surprised that she was scared by the noise. The woman doesn't even seem to care or try to comfort the child. She just keeps playing on her phone and ignores the kid. I then watch her 2 other kids get up and run to the field where the fireworks are being lit. To help my brother and avoid anyone getting hurt, I get up and run to stop them from doing this. I brought them over to the mom and told her to please control her kids, as it's dangerous to go on the field. She completely ignores me and continues to play on her phone. The kids run up to the field 4 more times during the night. I had to continue to get up and to chase after them each time, as the mom literally did nothing. The kids during the night just made the night a complete nightmare. They would take sparklers and snacks right out of other kids' hands. They would push and hurt the other kids when they tried to get their stuff back. Many of the other parents had to intervene to protect the other kids. They tried talking to the mom, but she continued to do nothing and ignored anyone who tried to talk to her. Now, this had distracted me and everybody else so much that no one noticed what her oldest was doing. The kid was 14 years old. He had taken a few of the Roman candles from the boxes and had snuck away with them. And he also managed to get his hands on an extra lighter. He went to the opposite end of the park near the house and proceeded to light 3 at the same time. By some miracle, he didn't get hurt, as he was smart enough to at least have them facing away from his body. When we noticed, everybody went running to try to stop him, but no one was able to get to him fast enough before the unthinkable happened. Now, he obviously wasn't in control of the firework, and this resulted in a nearby neighbor's house, deck, and a tree catching fire. The police and fire department were immediately called. This time, the mom didn't ignore what was happening, as she quickly grabbed all of her kids and ran back to her house. There was a great deal of confusion at this point, and everybody was in complete panic. Soon the fire was put out and everything started to settle down. The neighbor's house and deck had some pretty nasty fire damage. The police questioned everybody on site, and upon hearing what happened, the police immediately went to talk to the woman. When she came out, she claimed that she and her family were never even there. She told police that we were all liars and we were out to get her. This was quickly proven to be a lie, as many of the neighbors had been taking photos and videos while at the park. In many of the photos, you can clearly see the mom and her kids. With that as evidence, she and her oldest were then escorted into a police car and taken away. The other kids were taken away by Child Protection Services. I then found out later that the mom's being charged with abuse, property damage, and possession of illegal drugs. Her case has not yet come to trial, so I don't have all the details right now. But it turns out that she's a heavy drug user. She was tested at the police station when they found her to be behaving oddly, and it was discovered in her system. A warrant was obtained for her house, and a lot of illegal drugs were found. All of her kids are in the care of CPS, and she's in prison awaiting trial. Well, I guess having her 15-year-old kid set a house on fire was the best thing to have happen to her kids, right? I can't believe she tried to sneak away after all that happened. Yeah, let's just get out of here and pretend nothing even happened. Oh, officer, what fireworks display? We weren't even there. And that, my friends, brings us to another end of our / entitled people. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the stories today, and thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. If you liked the stories today, do hit the thumbs up button, and if you missed the last episode of our / entitled people, a Karen pepper sprays OP for wearing a Japanese kimono. It's ridiculous, so check it out if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you.